Max Verstappen did not win the 2026 Nürburgring 24 Hours, but what he did during the night on the most dangerous racetrack in the world was a masterclass in pure racing. The story of his weekend is not about Formula One politics or contract rumours. It is about a driver taking on the green hell, battling through the darkness, and experiencing the brutal highs and lows of endurance racing. The Nürburgring Nordschleife is not a normal racetrack. It is over 25 kilometres long, with more than 170 corners, blind crests, and zero margin for error. It is a track that punishes mistakes instantly, where the barriers are right next to the asphalt and the weather can change rapidly. It is widely considered the most demanding and dangerous circuit on the planet. And yet, this is exactly where the four-time Formula One world champion chose to spend his rare weekend off. He did not go on a vacation, he went to work. Verstappen entered the race with his own team, Verstappen.com Racing, driving the number 3 Mercedes-AMG GT3. He shared the car with a formidable lineup of experienced GT drivers, Danny Juncadella, Jules Gounon, and Lucas Auer. This was a serious effort. They were not there just to participate or to use the event as a PR stunt. They were there to win, and they had the pace to do it. The team had prepared meticulously, and Verstappen himself had spent countless hours in the simulator, getting ready for the unique challenges of the Nordschleife. The race started on Saturday afternoon, and Verstappen immediately showed why he is considered one of the best drivers in the world. Starting from 10th position on the grid, he stormed through the field during his opening stint. He navigated the chaotic traffic of slower classes with incredible precision, picking off his rivals one by one. By the time he handed the car over to his teammates, he had already put them in a very strong position at the front of the pack. But it was during the night that Verstappen truly made his mark and showed his absolute class. At around 1:30 in the morning, in the pitch black of the Eiffel Mountains, Verstappen took over the car from Juncadella. Driving the Nordschleife at night is an experience that terrifies even seasoned professionals. The visibility is minimal, the speeds are terrifying, and the concentration required is absolute. What followed was a masterclass in endurance racing. He immediately found himself in a fierce battle for the lead with the number 80 Mercedes, driven by the highly experienced Maro Engel. Verstappen did not hold back. He pushed the car to its absolute limit, eventually overtaking Engel for the lead. It was not a clean pass. There was contact between the two cars, and Engel ended up being pushed onto the grass. But Verstappen escaped without any significant damage and kept the lead. Later in the stint, he pulled off another incredible move, passing the number 47 Mercedes of Jesse Krohn while driving with two wheels on the grass. It was a moment of pure, raw racing instinct that left commentators and fans speechless. Even Lando Norris later admitted that he loved watching Verstappen's aggressive moves during the race. By the time Verstappen finished his grueling double stint and handed the car over to Jules Gounon, he had built a commanding 15-second lead over the rest of the field. The team was in complete control of the race. They had survived the most difficult part of the night. They had the pace to manage the gap, and victory looked like a very real possibility. The dream of winning the Nürburgring 24 Hours on his debut was within reach, but the Nürburgring is a cruel place. It does not care who you are, how many world championships you have won, or how well you drive. It is a track that breaks cars and breaks hearts. With just under 4 hours remaining in the race, disaster struck the Verstappen team. Juncadella had just taken over the car from Verstappen and was only 2 laps into his stint when he felt something wrong. The car had suddenly developed an ABS issue and severe vibrations that made it difficult to drive. Moments later, the right rear drive shaft snapped completely, leaving the car limping around the track. Juncadella managed to bring the crippled car back to the pits, but the damage was done and the time lost was too great. The team boss, Steve Bushman, confirmed the heartbreaking news to the organisers. "We unfortunately have a technical problem," he explained. "Right rear corner, no crash or contact, but really something technical. Frustrating. The car is now in the garage. They're going to repair everything and then we'll get back out on track as quickly as possible." The mechanics worked frantically to repair the car, but the chance of victory was completely gone. They eventually fixed the drive shaft, but only so the car could complete one final ceremonial lap at the end of the race to thank the thousands of fans who had supported them throughout the weekend. They were officially classified in 38th place, a result that did not reflect their incredible performance. Verstappen was devastated. After putting in such an incredible performance and driving flawlessly through the night, to lose the race to a mechanical failure was a bitter pill to swallow. He took to social media to share his thoughts with the fans and express his disappointment. "Thank you to all of you for the immense support we felt this week," Verstappen wrote in his statement. "Absolutely gutted we couldn't bring it home, but that's racing. Until the next one." His teammate, Danny Juncadella, was equally heartbroken by the sudden turn of events. Speaking to Viaplay after the race, he said, "Lost for words. I'm so disheartened we had mega pace and was up to 5th, and unfortunately a drive shaft snapped halfway through the race and caused a DNF. While Team Verstappen suffered heartbreak, the sister car, the number 80 Mercedes driven by Maro Engel, Fabian Schiller, Luca Stolz and Dennis Martin, went on to win the race. It was Mercedes' first victory at the Nürburgring 24 Hours since 2016. The number 84 Lamborghini finished second, despite receiving an 86-second penalty for a Code 60 violation, and the number 34 Aston Martin took third place to complete the podium. But even though Verstappen did not win, his performance left a lasting impression on everyone watching. He proved that he can jump into a completely different type of car and immediately be the fastest driver on the track. The experts at the race perfectly summarized what his drive meant for his legacy. This is not just what happens when an F1 driver pops into another form of motorsport and shows a gap in quality. It's what happens when an all-time great with a great racing attitude, who doesn't underestimate any challenge or any opposition, pops into another form of motorsport and shows how good they really are. Ed Straw added, "What happened, perhaps best expressed as the race beating him rather than him losing, adds to the legend of both Verstappen and the Nürburgring 24 Hours. This race proved something very important about Max Verstappen. When you put him in a car on a challenging track with a team he trusts, his passion is as strong as ever. He loves the pure competition, the challenge of pushing a machine to its limits, and the camaraderie of endurance racing. The Nürburgring 24 Hours requires a level of commitment and focus that is hard to comprehend. You are driving at incredible speeds, in the dark, surrounded by slower traffic, on a track that has no runoff areas. You do not do that if you have lost your love for the sport. You do it because racing is in your blood." Verstappen's participation in this race also highlights his growing interest in endurance racing. He has already spoken about his desire to race at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the future. Recently, Ford confirmed that they have had talks with Verstappen about a potential Le Mans entry when they return to the top-tier hypercar class in 2027. This could be the perfect transition for him if he decides to leave Formula One. If Verstappen does decide to leave Formula One, it is clear that he will not stop racing. He will simply move to a different challenge. And based on what we saw at the Nürburgring, he will be just as fast, just as aggressive, and just as determined to win. He will continue to push the boundaries of what is possible in a race car. For now, Verstappen will return to his day job. The Canadian Grand Prix is up next, and Red Bull has promised to bring a strong car. Verstappen will be looking to bounce back from his recent struggles in Formula One. He will channel the frustration of the Nürburgring into his performance in Montreal. But the memory of his night stint at the Nürburgring will linger. It was a reminder of the pure, unfiltered racer that lives inside Max Verstappen. He may not have taken the trophy home, but he proved that his fire is still burning bright. He showed the world that he is still one of the most exciting and talented drivers of his generation. The Nürburgring beat him this time. But as Verstappen himself said, until the next one, he will be back. And next time, the green hell might not be so lucky. He will return with more experience, more determination, and the same relentless drive to win.